singing today because I'm not the only one in a singy mood. Jeannine, hello, we're back. It's Morgan hasn't seen.
Yes.
Series 2.
Series 2.
Are we calling it Series 2? Are we going by that?
We are doing series of films, so I think that's fitting.
Get ready for Series 28, guys, where we will be covering movies directed by...
I'm waiting for the time.
I don't know.
I'm really waiting for the time where we're going to have to kind of get creative with these themes because I'm sure we're eventually going to, since we're doing a bunch of films, we're probably going to hit a spot where we've seen quite a bit of things.
Well, yeah, but I mean, we've been planning very well.
Yes. I think we have the rest of the year mapped out.
Which is big, which is a long time.
Yes.
Which is good. But this is Series 2, Season 2, second series of Morgan Hasn't Seen. I am Morgan, and I haven't seen things. That is Jeannine, and she tells me to see things. It's the main thing she does. She likes doing it. Would that be fair to say?
It's a lot of fun, and you end up enjoying what you've seen thus far, so...
Yeah. For the most part, of course, we had our pilot series on the MCU, going over the 6 MCU films that I hadn't seen up until the release of Endgame. We also had our special gushing, loving ridiculousness of 90 minutes that was that Endgame episode, where we just talked about all the things we love about that wonderful, fun movie. But, Jeannine, what do you have in store for me this month?
Well, with the release of John Wick Chapter 3...
We'll be covering Terminator. No.
No. We will be talking about John Wick, because you haven't seen any of those movies.
Morgan hasn't seen John Wick.
So, is there a particular reason why you just never saw these movies?
Like with anything, there is... I do not look at John Wick and go, I don't want to see that. I have an agenda against seeing that. When it came out, I know it was like, 2014? I think, honestly, 2014 was probably a little bit before I was religiously going out to the cinema every week to see the new release. It was a little bit before I really got into the whole sort of movie news thing and would know what was coming out and that sort of stuff. I would see what I wanted to see that I had known that was coming out for months, but I wouldn't pay so much attention to the newer released smaller movies at that point.
And it is a bit of a trek for you to get to a theater, I imagine.
Well, it was at that time as well, because that was before, obviously, that was just before I had moved to university as well, so it was quite a bit to get to a cinema. I mean, not miles and miles and miles, but yeah, that's probably the main reason. In that, honestly, I hadn't heard of John Wick until considerably after its initial release, and then just never. So I mean, action, like pure action, doesn't tend to be like my favoured thing.
Okay.
As everybody knows, I like older movies. The movies I would watch all the time was ones I would buy in on a DVD. I would just search what's a good movie, and they would come up with all these things from the 50s and from the 60s, 70s, and that's why that's how I got into it. That's why I love those movies.
And those movies usually tend to have very little action. Like pow
well,
action.
It depends which one you get. Does depend. I mean, some 70s movies are very action heavy and nasty and crime ridden and that sort of stuff.
True.
But quite similar to this movie that we're talking about this week. We are talking about the first John Wick This week, John Wick 2, or John Wick Chapter 2, I think it's called. Next week. Then, John Wick Chapter 3 will be released. And I'll go and see it. Jeannine will go and see it. We'll also talk about that. And then we also have our bonus one. And Jeannine, what is our bonus one?
Point Break.
Point Break, because Morgan hasn't seen Point Break.
Yes, so in keeping with the Keanu theme, we will watch Point Break. It was a very tough choice between that and Speed, but I think Point Break you might enjoy a little bit more.
Did I also express more of an interest in watching Point Break than Speed?
Yes, you did. So I threw you a bone.
Seems a
Have
silly
you seen
movie.
Have you seen Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure?
Well, Morgan hasn't seen Bill and Ted.
Okay, well, see, down the line we could do the Bill and Ted movies, and then we can do Speed. How about that?
See, this... well, yeah, sure. Why the hell not?
Keanu Part 2.
Keanu Part 2. That's what we're going to have to get into. Morgan hasn't seen season 28, is Keanu Part 2, or
Yes.
Clint Eastwood Part 7, or something. I don't know,
Yeah,
whatever it is.
we will definitely have to get creative down the line.
Natalie Portman Part 3. I don't know, it could be anything.
But before we get into John Wick, I think we were going to do something a little special.
Oh yes, special things. Tell the good listeners of Morgan Hasn't Seen what the special thing is.
So, the hot new thing to do right now is to rank all 22 MCU movies. And since we started this series...
Jeannine, it's such a hot thing to do. Don't get me started on how hot
Everybody's
this
doing
thing
it.
is to do.
Like, oh my gosh, it's totally the hot thing to do right now. But yeah, so since we started this series with an MCU run, I thought it would be kind of fun to go through our rankings of the 22 MCU films before we kick into John Wick.
And we all know how much we all know my disdain for ranking things in general. So it didn't bring me a great deal of pleasure to do this. For anybody that listens to Morgan Hasn't Seen to It's a Wonderful Podcast, the main show, on a regular basis, you'll know that Nolan will often ask me, where does this rank in terms of, and I'm like, oh, I don't rank things. Stop asking me these things. Yes, you are not good at ranking things.
But this show is about me making you do things that you don't want to do. So
I
thought that would be correct. On theme to make you make this list.
Do you want to go through yours first? And I don't think we're going to spend like too long going over it or anything like that. We're just going to do it and then sort of comment one little thing that's weird and then move into John Wick. But yes, go ahead. Okay.
So my 22 is Thor: The Dark World.
Oh, it's a bold statement. Are we going alternately?
Yes.
Oh, okay, we'll go alternately. I thought you were going to run yours then, but you didn't.
Oh, you want me to run mine?
No, we'll go alternately now. We haven't planned this at all.
No, obviously.
This is very off the cuff. My 22 is Iron Man 2.
Yeah, I was expecting that. You did not enjoy this as much as I did.
No, I enjoyed parts of Iron Man 2.
Yes.
Sam Rockwell. But ultimately, and preface, there's not a movie on here that I don't like.
No, I agree.
Which is phenomenal, really, when
or
you think about it.
Or that you can't find things that you don't like in it. There's always going to be at least one to more things that you like in all of these movies.
Absolutely, there is. But yes, 22 for me is Iron Man 2. So 21, Jeannine.
Thor.
Thor, okay. It's a bold statement again. Everything's a bold statement with me. Yeah. My 21 is The Dark World.
Okay.
So that's fairly self-explanatory. Yeah. You can go and listen to our episodes on Iron Man 2 and The Dark World if you want in-depth discussions on those movies. Number 20.
Roxy Streyer's favorite is my number 20. Doctor Strange.
That's a little low.
It's pretty low. It doesn't have the rewatchability for me. So if I were to pick a MCU movie that I'd want to watch over and over, that never really comes up.
Okay.
So it was fine when I watched it. I do love Benedict Cumberbatch, But kind of going with what Roxy said, I don't hate him. He does kind of redeem himself for me, but he's still always a little stiff and cold, and yeah. He never really warms my heart like Tony Stark kind of ultimately did.
Okay.
So
Okay. We'll get on to where I have Doctor Strange shortly, but in 20 for me is Thor 1.
Okay. I can probably guess why it's not higher for you.
Simply because it's horrendously disappointing.
Yes, I know you expected a lot of Asgardian stuff, and he spent most of his time on Earth in a little New Mexico town.
Frankly, a little boring as well.
Yeah,
a little boring. But
and those bleached eyebrows.
Again, go and listen to the episode on Thor if you want that. But
More.
yeah, Jeannine, 19.
Iron Man 2.
Iron Man 2, okay, we're having similar ones here.
Yes.
This is understandable, okay.
Yeah. While I do love a lot about that movie, Whiplash is not great, and that whole plot point about the new element was just pointless.
Yes, it was. We did say
frustratingly pointless. Yes.
We did say this wasn't going to take very long. It might take a long time.
I'm sorry. I'll
we
shut
don't
up.
care.
I'll just say I won't go into it.
We don't care. We'll do another 90-minute episode. We're happy doing that. This one, I don't know if this one may shock you because I don't know how you feel about this movie. Number 19 for me is actually Guardians Volume 2.
Okay. I can see that a lot of people didn't like the jokiness.
Look, there was some jokiness that I did like in it, but it was also way too jokiness for the actual seriousness. I think Kurt Russell is fantastic in that movie.
Yes.
But I think he's the only thing that's fantastic in that movie. That and, of course, the obvious visuals.
Okay.
But everyone else is either a step down from what they were doing in the first one, or like I don't really like Mantis that much.
Okay. I can see that.
Maybe. Yeah, it's just nowhere near as strong as the first.
As the first one, I have it a little higher because I did enjoy a lot of that movie, but I see where you're coming from.
Okay.
So my 18 might be a little low for some people, but Avengers: Age of Ultron.
Not as bold a statement as I might think. It's not so much higher for me.
Okay. So what's your 18?
That's no. My 18 is, and I was thinking about this, but my 18, not because it's not a good movie. Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Okay.
It
just kind of felt like it was a filler film for you.
It was such a filler film. It came at a bad time for itself.
Yeah.
It didn't do itself any favours, despite the fact that it is a perfectly good movie. It was just, why am I watching Ant-Man and the Wasp when I need to see ultimately Endgame?
Yeah.
I get why, because obviously we needed that little plot filler for the quantum realm and all that business, but that's the only reason it is there. What are we up to? 17?
Yes.
Go.
Captain America, First Avenger.
I'm sorry. That is a bold statement. Oh, I'm offended. I'm
sorry.
Mightily. When you realise where the First Avenger is on my list.
Oh, yeah, you probably have it like top 10, I'm sure. Top 5.
Maybe.
Oh, my goodness. Okay. I mean, I was debating for a while because I do enjoy that movie. I do like Steve's origin. But I don't know.
I actually think you're going to have a similar reaction to my 70.
Okay.
Iron Man.
What?
Mm-hmm.
What is wrong with you?
Iron Man 1, 17.
No.
It might be quite low.
You're dead to me, Morgan.
Yeah, well, you're dead to be First Avenger.
Or basically our movies are like switched. Like that is like one of my favorites. Yeah.
Go and listen to the episode on Iron Man. We didn't have to do one on First Avenger because I love it that much, and it was the first MCU movie I ever watched. But go and listen to our pilot episode on Iron Man to get all our... and realise why I kind of hate Tony Stark in that whole movie. And it's such a relief that Tony Stark ended the way he did. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
Number 16, Jeannine.
Captain Marvel.
Okay, not a fair statement.
I wanted to love it more. I wanted to get more from her. Like, even just her talking to Maria Rambeau, is that her name? Like, her talking about how much she missed her was, like, so good. But, like, we didn't really get to see any of that relationship. And Brie Larson has this kind of staccato, snappy way of delivering her lines. And sometimes it works for the quippier stuff, but other times it just feels kind of dry.
I get that. That's fair. Yeah. I think I liked Captain Marvel more than you did.
I did enjoy it. I loved the dynamic with Fury. I found a lot of things I loved about it. But for being the first female superhero movie, I think I wanted more.
Okay. Well, 16 for me is Iron Man 3.
Okay.
So we've already run I've already run the Iron Man movies because it was obvious that I preferred Iron Man 3 to the other ones. From what, in terms of a favourite movie, from what we talked about, but still it had way too much nonsense in there and didn't make a lot of sense. So that's why it's kind of low.
Okay. Well, my 15 is Iron Man 3.
Okay.
So while I did think it was much lower on my list in general, in rewatching it for our show, I actually found an appreciation for most things in it. And yes, silly dragon fire from Guy Pearce. And, a lot of craziness going on. But it's still fairly in the middle, lower middle. But it did grow in appreciation for me after a rewatch.
What number are we on?
Your 15.
My 15 is your 20, 19, 18, 17, 16. My 15 is Age of Ultron.
Okay.
My 15 is Age of Ultron. The weakest of the main 4 Avengers movies.
No, definitely.
It's a shame because there is stuff to like in Ultron.
Just a lot going on.
There's a lot going on, and it's sort of the events of the movie kind of does. They exist to help the movies that come after it. They exist to help Civil War and to help Infinity War. And
it makes those movies better, but it's in itself was too much to jam pack into that one movie.
Yeah.
So it suffered a bit.
Completely agree. 14 for you.
Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Okay, so we've got the same type of deal going on at the bottom.
So while I do agree it is kind of a filler film, I just love Paul Rudd. He's so good. And even just that whole part of him being Janet, like, that was so good. Yeah. He's so likable and I love him. And I love that these movies can kind of be their own thing. So I appreciate that. I'm a huge fan of Paul Rudd and he makes these movies so much fun for me. So, it was nice seeing a, female be part of the title and part of the story and ass kicking and all of that.
I like Wasp a lot. I do like Wasp. It's sad that their movie, I think she'll do enough stuff going forward to give her a bit more high quality actual movies. Not that Ant-Man and the Wasp again isn't a good movie, but my 14 is Doctor Strange.
Okay, that's pretty high, but you seem to like all that
what I
magic
like about
and mysticism
and that's
his
exactly
perfectly coiffed facial hair. I'm sure that's what's put it up the rankings for you.
That's exactly what it is. No, it is the magic element, and the like you said it. I don't even have to say it because you hit it. Why I kind of do like Doctor Strange, as much as it isn't up there with my favourites by any means. It's a good movie that I haven't admittedly watched again, but we know how I am with watching things. I'll see them once and then not again. So
Yeah.
that's all that can be said about that. But you're 13 now.
My 13 might raise some eyebrows. The Incredible Hulk.
Well, okay,
Yes.
okay.
Every
I
time I
might
watch
have
it,
it
I
slightly
seem
higher.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Every time I watch it, I seem to enjoy it more and more. I just love that version of Bruce Banner. I love the relationship with Betty. I love that a lot of thought and attention went into him trying to manage it and all of that. So, while the Harlem fight was terrible and the CGI was not great, the villain was lackluster, there were a lot of character things that were done really well and they really put some thought into. So that's why I enjoy that movie.
Completely agree. And this one might raise some eyebrows as well, but in actual thinking, in properly thinking about it, and properly thinking about my journey with the MCU, my number 13, are we on?
Yes.
My number 13 is the first Avengers movie.
Okay. Okay.
Or The Avengers, or as it was called here, Avengers Assemble.
Okay.
Because it had a different title. But yeah, because my journey with the whole thing was different to everybody else's. I'd already seen Age of Ultron by the time I saw The Avengers. I'd already seen plenty of stuff by the time this wasn't the culmination of Phase 1 for me.
This was the first movie you saw. Yeah. And this was the first one you saw in the MCU, right?
No, first Avenger.
Okay.
See, this is where... Because I always call it the first Avengers. Because it's Avengers 1. I should call it Avengers 1.
Or just say Avengers Assemble.
Avengers.
It's so fun to say.
The Avengers. But yeah,
Avengers.
That's what's there.
Okay.
It's a good movie. I can see why everybody would absolutely adore it at the time, just for what it did. But we have Endgame now.
Yes.
So it's
what
kind
that
of
movie did was
unprecedented.
Great. Yes.
Unprecedented, but does it age well? Even in 7 years?
I still have fun watching it. That's why it is higher on my list.
Okay.
So my 12.
You're 12.
Guardians Volume 2. Guardians of the Galaxy.
That's kind of higher than mine.
Yeah. I had fun with it. I liked all the stuff with Quill and Yondu. Kurt Russell's great. I liked the little twist. And yeah, I mean, I didn't mind the jokey. I thought it was a lot of fun. And I liked seeing...
Does Mantis not just really get on your nerves, though?
No. I like Mantis.
I like Drax in the movie because he's just like horrible to Mantis. No, that's harsh. I don't mean any ill will to Mantis.
Yeah, he's like holding back, vomiting, thinking about.
No, I don't hate Mantis. I just for some reason at the minute I have a problem with people's line delivery. I don't think
the way she talks like this.
It's, and I get she's doing a great job. But
sleep.
Yeah. Just aliens don't talk like that, Mantis.
Okay, because you know a lot of aliens.
Yeah, a lot of aliens.
I'm an alien.
You are?
I'm a resident alien. Straight from Canada.
Factually
people.
True. Factually
Yes.
true. There. What are we on? Number 12.
No, 11.
Number 11.
Yes.
Mine. Wait a minute. 20.
Well, you didn't tell me you're 12. I said my 12. You
I'm
didn't say
saying.
you're 12.
My
You're 12.
My 12 is Captain Marvel.
Okay, that's pretty high.
It is, but I really like Nick Fury in this movie.
Yeah, it's great.
I really like him in this movie. I think Brie Larson is really good, actually, because she is she's dialed down a bit. She's not super heroic,
Tense,
yay.
yeah.
Seems very much just like she gets on with it. She knows what she's doing, and it's all go with her. And her powers are so cool, and her costume is so great.
Yes.
And I like Jude Law in the movie. I really like Jude Law in the movie, actually. I like the sort of It was a little bit of a filler movie, but I think it's a hell of a lot better filler movie
Ant-Man and the Wasp.
than Ant-Man and the Wasp is. And yeah, Sam Jackson is the de-aging is wonderful, and Sam Jackson himself is
He's great.
his best MCU performance.
Yes,
as far as
and I
I'm
love
concerned.
that we got a lot of time with him because
We did.
Yeah, he's great.
And I like that he dances to the Marvelettes,
Just like me.
just like you. I also like that you dance to the Marvelettes.
Watch the Schmodown Free for All Part 2.
Part two. Not part one. Don't bother with part one.
No, don't worry about that. Just watch the part where I come in and dance dressed as Nick Fury to the Marvelettes. You'll love it.
You will. You will. Number 11. We're hitting
Number 11.
We're hitting the really good ones now.
Yes, so my number 11 is Ant-Man.
Okay. Yeah.
Like,
okay.
just the concept of silly, goofy Paul Rudd being a superhero and getting all buff. Like, I love that so much.
This list is going on for a long time, but we don't care, Jeannine. We don't care. This is our show, and we'll do what we damn well please.
Exactly. And the fact that Edgar even had any kind of input is nice because he's my favorite.
Well,
He's
yes,
my favorite.
we all know that.
Yes.
I have a history with Edgar Wright, don't I? I feel like in our circles, I have a history with Edgar Wright. I apparently hated Edgar Wright. Never was true.
Okay.
Was never true. Just not the genius filmmaker everybody thinks he is. I'm just saying that. Perfectly good at what he does. Perfectly good at what he does. Like his movies. Perfectly fine.
We'll save that for another day.
Save that for another day. Morgan hasn't seen Edgar Wright movies. Joke's on you because I have. Number 11 for me is The Incredible Hulk.
Okay, very
Purely
high. I remember
Bruce
you
Banner.
really.
Purely
yes, I
Ed
remember
Norton.
you.
Purely Bruce Banner. We've been over it several times. Go
Listen
and
to the episode for
to
more
the
in-depth
episode. That's
stuff.
all I'm going to say there.
10 for me, Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Okay. Yeah.
Probably the best iteration of Peter Parker and Spider-Man together, I would say. For me.
Okay.
The most age-appropriate looking
That's
and
true.
acting Peter Parker / Spider-Man.
Look, I grew up with Tobey Maguire movies, so
Go Web, go.
go Web, go. Shazam!
And your 10?
And my 10
Yes.
is Guardians 1.
Okay. I have it a little higher.
Because for all the things that I said before when I was talking about Guardians 2, it's just better
Yes.
in near enough every way, and also the opening is great, and also we get to see the opening from that
From another
stupid
perspective.
in Endgame,
That was
and it's
awesome.
phenomenal. Yeah, that's it.
My 9 is Thor Ragnarok.
Number 9.
Yes.
This is another first Avenger situation. This is far too low. Number 9. I am disgusted.
I'm sorry. I did really enjoy it. It was very funny and fun, and Valkyrie was awesome, and it was great. And seeing talkie Hulk was great. But there were just other ones that I just love more.
And I know what some of these are, and you are insane.
Okay.
Number 9. Number 9 for me is Ant-Man.
Okay.
Pretty much the same reasons you said.
Okay.
It's just a really, really fun movie. Yeah, Ant-Man's great. Super fun. Probably the most pure fun.
Yes, that's
of all,
kind of its
all the
own
MCU
thing.
movies.
Its own thing, a heist movie.
Yeah.
Separate, really. But great.
Number 8.
8, The Avengers. Avengers Assemble.
Okay.
Yes. I liked seeing that circle shot. I mean, that circle shot was awesome, okay? Getting them to see them in the city, doing their own little, having their own little moments. So good. The whole battle was done really well. Loki was a great villain. Great jokes, great quips, great seeing them fight and bicker until they became a team. Just all around fun. Loved it.
I agree with everything you're saying. I just didn't have the emotional attachment to it. That's all. That's why it's a bit lower for me.
Okay.
Number 8, yeah, number 8.
Yes.
Is Homecoming, is Spider-Man Homecoming. It's a great movie. It's really, really good. Look, I can't say anything more about Spider-Man Homecoming than what you said.
Yeah.
Even though I do love those Tobey Maguire. Michael Keaton.
I do too.
Michael
really
Keaton.
Really good.
Oh my god.
Yes.
Yeah. I get lost for words sometimes when I talk about Spider-Man Homecoming because it is kind of... And Spider-Man isn't like my absolute favourite, right? I love Spider-Man, but he's not... Because I feel like he's a lot of people's number one.
Yeah.
Favourite superhero, right?
Yes.
Of all superheroes ever. And he's up there for sure, but this is such a perfect balance of everything Spider-Man.
And not that it's hard to do.
The heart,
yes.
Just everything. It's a great, great movie, and you get the actual likable Tony Stark in there as well. So.
Yes, and not that it's hard to do, but he's definitely top tier in the MCU villains list.
Oh, Michael Keaton, yes, absolutely he is.
Yes,
absolutely he is. Okay. Number 7.
My number 7 is Captain America: The Winter Soldier.
I mean, it's my number 6, so it's very, very similar.
Very enjoyable.
Very, very good movie.
Good action. Yeah.
Robert Redford kills it.
And like that he has a little adventure with Natasha. It's very good.
Yeah, and you get Falcon.
Yeah.
It's
great.
It's a very, very... Because it's kind of... It's a spy movie. And it's kind of a really well-made spy movie as well as being such a good superhero movie. And it's also Steve Rogers. And I love Steve Rogers, which is my number 7 is The First Avenger. Captain America, The First Avenger, number 7. Because it's a fun war movie with Captain America and Steve Rogers, who is a little wimpy guy like I am still technically am, even though, I'm less wimpy these days. People know.
Yes.
People know. He's just a harmless little guy with a huge heart, and he just wants to get involved, but he keeps getting told he's not good enough, and he keeps getting told he's not tall enough, and he jumps on that grenade, goddammit.
He's still skinny.
I don't care if he's skinny, Tommy Lee Jones, he jumps on that grenade.
I love that line so much.
And then he gets all super serumed, and then Peggy's involved, and it's just great.
Yes.
It's a great movie. It was the first MCU movie I ever watched.
Okay.
Great movie.
Well, it's
great movie.
It's great. Number 6. No one's denying it's great. It has a guy from Fresno in it, and I'm from Fresno. So, hey.
Number 6, Jeannine.
My 6 is Guardians of the Galaxy.
Okay.
Yes.
That's a little bit higher, actually, isn't it, than I had it?
Yes. I really enjoyed that movie. With characters you didn't really know, and to get you to kind of care about them and how they came together as a team. Very enjoyable space adventure.
Yeah, very much so. Very much so. My number 6, like I said, was Winter Soldier.
Okay.
We've talked about Winter Soldier, but yes, you're number 5.
Iron Man.
Yeah, I mean, I figured it would be up there. It's, my
Such
number 19.
Such a good origin story. So. Such a good origin. I don't know what's wrong with you.
I don't like Tony Stark.
But you get so much from his personality. He's making soldiers laugh, and he's so charismatic. And yes, he's an asshole, but he's like a good asshole. I don't know.
No, he isn't.
Yes,
you know who's not an asshole? Steve Rogers.
Okay, I'm fine.
You know why I like First Avenger? Because he's likable.
Okay.
You know who isn't likable in Iron Man? You know who isn't likable in Iron Man?
At the end, he becomes likable.
At the end, he's the most unlikable, arrogant, arrogant
throughout the middle, when he's in the cave with Jensen, and you see that he has a heart.
He does
Proof
have
that Tony Stark has a heart.
Yeah, he has
Okay.
a heart. He has a heart. Well, technically, I suppose he doesn't. Does he have a heart? No, he doesn't.
Okay.
Do you have a
Okay.
heart when you?
No.
don't know.
Let's
I don't know.
let's move on.
I like Tony Stark these days. Love him. Don't like him back then.
Okay.
Number 5 is a ridiculous placing of Iron Man.
No, it's not. Shut up.
Number 5 for me is. I'm not gonna do the impression Black Panther.
Okay.
I'll get Brandon Hanna to do to do his impression of T'Challa.
I never freeze.
No, I wanted to do it then, but I can't bring myself to do it. Black Panther is a wonderful movie. This is it's the best solo hero movie.
Yes.
It just is. It's such a perfect, because it's about a king and kingly things. It's what I wanted from Thor, right? Yes. It's just so perfect.
And getting to be kind of immersed in his world, and you didn't get that with Thor.
And Wakanda's so cool, and everybody's involved in it, and Shuri's the best, and Lupita Nyong'o's in it, and she's awesome, and I love her. And Chadwick Boseman is the handsomest human being.
Yes, and he is. The way he walks with so much swag, it's like I can't even deal with it. Like, he just swags around.
And and it's funny as well. It's low-key very funny.
Andy Serkis is great.
Andy Serkis is great in it, and even Martin Freeman, who is, comes into
and
it.
Where was he in Endgame?
That's a very fair question. Where the hell was Martin Freeman in since Black Panther? He didn't die in that movie.
No.
It's a very, very fair question, but he's good in it. Winston Duke and Baku.
Oh yeah.
Good. And there is always something about, and it happened again in Infinity War, and it happened again in Endgame. Yeah, okay, it's been out for a while now. Calm down. The Wakandan war chant.
Yes.
Right before a battle, it's just
so good.
God.
So good.
It gets you all the feels, and it's just like, yes, I'm ready for this. You wanna get ready for something? Listen to Chadwick Boseman scream that.
Yes.
And it's just
so good.
Yeah, I love Black Panther. It's great. It's so good. Number 4, Jeannine.
Captain America: Civil War.
I have the same number 4. This is the
really?
first same
that
we've had.
Wow.
Number 4, Civil War.
The airport scene, just getting that many heroes together, like, I mean, you kind of knew maybe it was building to more eventually, but seeing it here was really great. I loved the reveal of, Bucky and Tony and all of that, and having a reason to not be civil.
Yeah, and of course I was Team Steve.
Of course you were, and I was Team Iron Man.
Of course you were.
I actually was Team Steve too.
Yay!
I got Tony's motivations, but
Team Steve buddies.
Team Steve. Yes.
Oh yeah, I definitely got Tony's motivations towards the end. Like, the ending is very, very. It's very hard, really, when you think about it. When you think about the emotion that's coming to the MCU movies lately with Infinity War, Endgame, this was a real good precursor to that.
Yes.
In terms of an emotional impact that these movies can have. And it was, like you said, bringing all these people together in that airport scene. You get you get Giant Man and Spider-Man coming in, of course, for the first time you see him.
So good.
And it is
great
just,
moments. To make that work with that many characters was great.
Black Panther as well. Black Panther coming in.
Yes.
The first
Remember
time.
my whole moment that I noticed in Endgame when he says Clint, but when Clint's like, "Hi, I'm Clint" in Civil War, and he's like, "I don't care."
I don't care.
But he does care. God.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
sorry.
fair to say we love Civil War.
My number 3. Yes. Avengers: Infinity War.
Ooh, okay. Okay. Why only number 3?
Because while I did enjoy it, it was great. It was amazing. Something just had more emotional meaning for me that put that at 3. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
okay, but, you know, Thor's depression wasn't made into a joke in Infinity War, so
Okay.
just saying.
Okay. So I'm guessing your number 3 is...
My number 3 is Endgame.
Yeah. Okay.
My number 3 is Endgame. Endgame was incredible. I just have that one slight little horrible little nitpick with it.
I do agree with that.
Which is,
But yeah,
is purely
made
because
me feel all the feels, and
it did. I can't disagree. It's a number 3 for a reason.
Yes.
It was a phenomenal movie. And did you see that there's a new Funko Pop of Thor in Endgame? It's Brady beard Thor, long hair.
Fat Thor.
He's holding both Stormbreaker and Mjolnir in the battle, and it's a limited edition, but I can't get it in this country.
Oh no. Well, I'm just gonna get it and you can look at it.
Well, that's nice, thanks for that.
Yeah, I'll send you pictures snuggling with it at night.
I have my own Thor Funko Pop to do that with.
Yeah, but it's not Beardy Beard. Brady Beard Thor.
No, it's Infinity War Thor with the one eye and Stormbreaker. It's a good Funko Pop. Yeah, you're number 2. What the hell is your number 2 actually? Oh,
Black
I know.
Panther.
Yes, obviously, what your number 2 is.
Just the cultural significance for me with that movie, just the representation at that scale, at that level, was just something very meaningful for Black people. And yeah, just being a Black female and seeing all the powerful Black females and Black superhero.
Okoye, we didn't even talk about Okoye.
Yes. Being embraced like this to this degree on such a large scale was just very meaningful in movie history as somebody who loves film, and as a Black female, it just had a lot of cultural significance for me. And yeah, I got very emotional just at the fact that this movie even exists, and no other movie in the MCU really got that kind of emotion out of me besides my number 1. So,
And that is the best argument anyone has come up with so far.
yes.
And
Yes.
will do in its
And
entirety.
your number 2?
My number 2 is Ragnarok.
Nah.
Yes, Ragnarok's
Because
the
as a
best.
white beardy male,
Because as a
I
white
felt the
bearded-
cultural significance
As a
of seeing
fair-haired, white, beardy male with desire to be as large as Chris Hemsworth, I found significant cultural significance in Thor Ragnarok as being of Norse descendancy. And,
Okay, I appreciate that, sir.
and also Jeff Goldblum.
Yes.
And also
Excellent.
Hulk. And this is why I said Black Panther is the best solo hero movie, because this is also a Hulk movie. And it's
It
also
is.
Valkyrie.
Yes.
And Valkyrie's great. And
It
I
has
love
to be a
Tessa
Hulk
Thompson.
movie because of rights issues, but
Because, yes. Tessa Thompson's wonderful.
Excellent.
I love
Excellent
Tessa
addition.
Thompson in this movie. Everything about just the stupidness of Ragnarok is also just makes it for me. I know I said like Ant-Man was the most pure fun, but this is the funniest.
Definitely.
This has the humour that Guardians 2 wanted
yeah, I agree with that.
to have. It just didn't pull it off. Chris Hemsworth is just the best, and this is where I start to develop a significant man crush on Chris Hemsworth. Was after seeing Ragnarok, because he gets rid of the stupid long hair from his previous movies
And the blondie bleached eyebrows.
and the way too
Can't forget
blondness,
those.
and actually looks like himself
Yeah.
for a little bit. And when he's in the arena and he puts the helmet on with the wings, and then Hulk comes out and it's all great, and then Jeff Goldblum's there being all Jeff Goldbloomy.
Yes.
It's a great movie. It's a great movie, and the ending very emotional.
Yes.
Again, very emotional impact.
Losing
And
his
I
home.
had no emotional ties to Asgard before
Because
this movie.
we never barely saw Asgard.
But I didn't need to.
You
And
knew
it
that was
still
his
got
home,
me.
and he lost it.
It still got me. And
Yes.
you know, obviously, as a fair-haired white male, it really got to me.
Appreciate that.
Your number
And-
one, and obviously, is going to be the complete switch around, isn't it?
Yes. So
Yes.
Avengers Endgame is my number one.
And mine is Infinity War.
I cried a lot in that movie. There were a lot of moments that just got me. Even just listening to songs from the soundtrack, like when I listen to Portals, like you see everyone talking about Portals on the soundtrack. I listened to Portals and I literally started tearing up because I was thinking of that moment.
Yeah, it's a good moment.
Yes.
It's a good moment.
Yes, I
You know
just...
what else is
I
a
would
good
put-
moment? Everybody dying.
Yeah, of course you love that. Everyone getting dusted away.
Dusty,
I just
dust,
felt a
dust.
lot of emotion, and for a movie to make me feel that means something. So, and I appreciated that it was just basically our reward for years of watching these films, and it was an appreciation to everyone who was involved in all of the films. So I liked that it was a nice little love letter to fans and filmmakers of the MCU.
I completely agree with that. However, I do think that Infinity War has more of a actual narrative throughout it.
Okay, I appreciate that. I can get...
It's Thanos' movie. In truth, Thanos isn't in it a great deal in Endgame.
But I appreciate that they took it from the perspective of making the villain the protagonist. That
Yeah.
was very smart and
And-
different.
Thanos is incredible villain.
Oh, yes.
In Infinity War, less so in Endgame.
Yes. You get his motivations, and they make sense in a
Yeah.
way. And
I don't-
you notice throughout the movie, like, just a smart choice of him not particularly trying to be violent.
Yeah.
Just people engaging with him. And so he
Yeah.
has to kind of,
And
But
also,
he's got his mission, and that's what he's focused on.
Infinity War is also a low-key Thor movie.
It is.
Because
Yes.
Thor's got...
He gets the second most
biggest.
screen time, I
He does.
believe.
but
And
yeah,
the finale takes place... Well, not the finale, but...
Yeah,
one of
the
big
main
finale,
battle
yeah.
takes place
It
in
takes place in
Wakanda.
Wakanda. So, yeah, it's great.
It is
And
a
now
great
that we've
movie.
spent almost 50 minutes...
45, nearly 50 minutes talking about that, we might actually have time for John Wick.
Yes.
What's John Wick? I've forgotten all about it.
Yeah,
No.
silly me. I did not expect us to take that long, but
No, we
hey,
took so long. But hey, who cares? We had
this is
fun.
our
Did
show.
have
We
fun?
can do
This
what
is
we
our
want.
show.
We did. I mean, our Endgame episode was, what, an hour 30?
Yeah.
So this could be an hour 30,
Yeah, of course it
right?
can. Of course it can.
So,
Yes. Moving
so we've
swiftly on
yes.
from our listing of the MCU movies, our hot topic, not hot topic, that's not proper. Hot, what did you call it? You call it something cool.
I don't know, hot take. I don't know.
It was the
hot new thing. The hot new thing. Like, oh my God, like totally. So, yeah. So let's talk about John Wick now.
Let's talk about John Wick now, which like I said before, I hadn't seen. We've already been over that, Jeannine, so why don't we just
get into it?
Straight into it. What do you really like about John Wick?
I like that with few words, you know, I'm a huge fan of visual storytelling. With few words, you got the emotion, you got what things meant, and it's a very simple way to tell a story, but it was very effective.
Look, I think it's one of the most simple action movies I've seen in a long, long, long time, and that's really what's so good about it.
Yeah,
That's really
it's a very
what makes
simple
it.
motivation, but you feel it. You can get behind it.
It's not trying to be too dramatic. It's not trying to be too, plot heavy or complex and that. What this movie set out to do was be slick. It was be cool. It was be intense in its action, and then just sort of like engrossing when people are just walking around with Keanu's just walking around with these cold eyes that are just focused, and he knows what he's doing. And they did that really well. They did it so perfectly. And Keanu's such a badass because he's like 57,000 years old, and
yeah, I think he's almost 60.
it's ridiculous that he looks like that.
And he can do all of that. But yeah, I just really appreciated the world building as well. Like, you get this whole assassin world. Like, they use their own type of currency, and they have people to call to clean up the dead bodies, and they have their own hotel where it's kind of a safe zone, and people connected to all different parts of the world that, you know, you can go to for certain things, and you'll get to see the world kind of grow even more in the second one. So I'm excited for that.
Okay, I'm definitely looking forward to seeing these other two movies and learning more about whether it's other people in the Continental, whether it's the actual Continental Hotel itself, and what specifically goes on there, because this felt like more of a, well, it was definitely a very focused movie. It had its goal, you know, man's dog gets killed, man takes revenge on people who killed man's dog.
Yes, and it's more than that. Like,
it is more. It's way more than that.
Yes.
I'm being very.
But
very
I mean, I like that
it.
the simple setup of why this dog means so much. Because you could say, okay, someone killed my dog. Of course, I'm going to be pissed. But this was a gift from his wife that he received literally right after she died.
Yeah.
And with a lovely note explaining, you know, that this was something for him so he could love again and move on, and
it's very sweet,
not do it alone. And the dog's name is Daisy, after his wife's, you know, implied favorite flower, because you see daisies on all her things. And you really only see him with the dog for a day, but you still feel what that means.
You do. You get the connection right away. I personally thought, because people always seem to go on about John Wick and the dog, right? I thought the dog would be in it so much more.
Yes.
But also, he didn't have to be, or she didn't have to be.
You got enough, and him bonding with the dog and seeing what it meant, and that it was a gift from his wife who passed. And
that was all I needed to realize.
And then even after the break-in, and you see him finally come to, and the dog crawled over to him with its last breaths just to be near him. Like, that was heartbreaking to see that trail of blood and just the dog there. And heartbreaking.
Really, really very nasty as well, because it's quite it's a random act of violence that turns into something they really, really shouldn't have done.
Theon.
Because Theon, Theon Greyjoy, Alfie Allen is the main. Is he the main villain, or is he the main villain's son?
Yeah, he's the main villain's son.
He's the main villain's son. I already, after about 5 minutes of seeing Alfie Allen in this movie, already preferred his line delivery to that of him as Theon Greyjoy throughout 8 seasons of Game of Thrones, where his line delivery isn't good, ever. But I still like Theon as a character, and I like Alfie Allen as an actor. I think he's a really good actor. I think he clearly plays the I want to do good stuff for my dad very well.
Yeah, he was definitely season 2 Theon.
Yeah.
But did you like him in this movie, being a little brat?
I did like him in this movie. I think he plays this really, really well. I think that's what he plays very, very well. I did like him in this movie. Somehow it's this sort of, I'm way too arrogant for what I actually am. This skinny, scrawny guy who John Wick could snap over his knee.
Yeah, and his father tells him so. He's like, I can take care of him. I can take him out, Dad. No, you can't.
Yeah.
He's going to come for you, and there's nothing I can do about it.
Sorry.
You're an idiot.
Yeah. I think Alfie Allen plays that really well. I really do kind of like him in this movie. And it's got a low-key great cast.
Yes, Michael Nyqvist is great. Like, I love when he's like telling John Leguizamo, so I hear you struck my son.
John
May I ask
Leguizamo.
why?
When was the last time
well,
you saw John Leguizamo?
All right.
I don't remember.
And he was great in this movie too.
Sid the Sloth in Ice Age was the last time I saw John Leguizamo.
Which Ice Age? And there are like 5 of those movies.
Well,
or something.
I only liked the first 2. I never saw the other ones. Morgan hasn't seen Ice Age 3, 4, and 5.
Okay.
We're not
maybe
doing
that'll
that.
have to be. No. I don't think I've seen any of them. So.
You've never seen an Ice Age movie?
Maybe the first one, but they just were not for me.
1 is great.
Meh.
1 is great. I mean, it came around, it's the same sort of animation style that came around right around Shrek. So
holds a special place in your DreamWorks heart.
In my DreamWorks heart.
Yes.
Early noughties DreamWorks animation.
Yes.
I'm about it. We're not talking about Ice Age.
No.
No, we're not. We're talking about John
I was
Wick.
saying that Michael Nyqvist is very good in this movie. Like, I like when John Leguizamo is talking to him on the phone, and Michael Nyqvist asks him why he struck his son, and he says, well, he stole John Wick's car and killed his dog, and he knows who John Wick is, so all he can say is, oh.
Yeah. It's really good.
Yes.
It's really good.
And then just him kind of breaking down who John Wick was and what he did for their whole society, I guess, and what he had to do to have that life with his wife. And now that his wife is gone, he has no reason to,
to not get back into it almost.
And that's why I love his whole rant. Like, people keep asking me if I'm back. And I really haven't had an answer for them. Like, that whole line is so good. Yeah, Angry Keanu. I love Angry Keanu because everyone knows him to be like, whoa, and totally zen and all of that. But to see Angry Keanu, I loved that.
Keanu's great in this. I do like Keanu as an actor. Look, he can't act in some of his movies. He just is, for some reason, unable. Right?
But he has his thing that he can do. Oh yeah, that
he's not got a clue.
Accent was
he has not
so
got a clue.
bad, so bad.
But in this,
like he has his thing that he does, and he does it very well.
Yeah, completely.
Nobody
agree.
can do what he does in his,
I'm so
element
glad. I'm so glad that this became a little bit of a franchise.
Yes.
Because he deserves it for how good he is in this movie. Without saying a great deal, because that's the type of movie it is.
And he conveys everything so well with few words and just, a look and the things he does say and his actions and his movements and...
Yeah. Weren't the directors like stuntmen as well? Or former stuntmen. So they're not going to be...
One of them was actually his stunt double in The Matrix.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, that's a good piece of trivia.
And then I think the other one, David Leitch.
David Leitch, who did Deadpool 2?
Deadpool 2, yes. He was the other director. Okay. Which I guess there was a whole thing with, the WGA thing that they couldn't both be credited as directors. So one was producer and one was credited as director because of there has to be special circumstances, which I guess the Russos got. So
that might be family based. Because the Coens obviously get it as well.
And the Wachowskis.
Who else? Directing siblings.
Yeah.
They're the only 3 I can think of.
Me too.
Yeah, that's about it. But no, Keanu's great. I'm so glad that he's got this little franchise. And
yes.
Like you said, he doesn't have to say a lot. The movie itself doesn't have to say a lot.
Oh, no.
It
I think
works
I told you, it's a very simple story.
It works very much on visuals.
Yes, and the action is, of course, being directed by stuntmen is impeccable. And it's like, I appreciate that they tried to give you something new that you hadn't seen before, because there's a lot of action, but it all kind of blends together. Mm-hmm. But this is very unique style of, like, I think they called it gun fu, or just like close contact shooting along with like grabs and holds and,
hitting each other with guns and stuff. It's good. It's some of the best fight choreography I've seen in an action movie since like The Raid, and I don't watch that many action movies.
Yeah.
Obviously, The Raid is on a complete other level because of the actual people that were cast in that movie are complete, insanely martial arty, can contort the body into all directions very fast.
Yeah.
It's the second coming of Bruce Lee. And that sort of stuff. But this, the fight choreography in this is really, really well done. It's really slick, which I like as well. Everything moves so smoothly, and I feel like the movie itself is smooth.
Yes.
The way it's shot seems slick. The actual visual of it,
and even like the daylight is very overcast.
That's exactly
and dark.
That's exactly what I mean.
So what do you think of the world that they've built with all the, assassin type, underworld type stuff?
Look, I really like the idea of the Continental and Ian McShane, who's in the movie. And, and Willem Dafoe, who's in this movie, who obviously doesn't make it out of the movie, but he's in this movie. But I really like the Continental. I wasn't sure about the world building before you got there, right?
Yeah.
I'm not sure I even clocked where it was actually set until until you got to, New York City.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm very interested in this little underworld of assassins that's going on right here.
Breaking his floor, getting those coins out, using those to pay. He calls a number and says he has a reservation for however many people he just killed, and like a cleaning crew comes, and that's what assassins do to, they have cleanup teams. That cop shows up and you think he's in trouble, and it's like, no, he's in on it. He knows what's going on. Yeah. He's part of this world too. Like, how deep does it really go?
Exactly. Yeah. It's super, super interesting. It's why I'm very, very excited to watch more of the Loki. The best character is the hotel manager.
Yes, he's great.
He's great.
I can't remember his name. He was in Fringe. I really enjoyed that show.
I don't know. No, I don't know his name. But he's so cool. He's just like, hello, Mr. Wick.
Oh, and he's very great in the second one too. I appreciate him a lot in that one.
I like that.
His name is Lance Reddick.
There you go, Lance Reddick. Applause for you, sir.
Yeah.
Applause for you. But no,
the noise complaint.
Look, that is what really struck me most about the movie, is just how slick and sleek it is. From the clothing, from Keanu's slicked back hair, movements of everybody, the way it's shot, the choreography of the action. Even the club scenes, even the scenes in the club when the Continental turns into that weird dance.
Oh, the jazz bar. Yeah.
Even that feels. It doesn't feel like Blade in that club right at the start of that, where it's just chaos, right?
Yeah.
You can tell there's chaos going on there, but it seems to move around it really, really smoothly.
And that part in the club, that's not in the Continental.
Oh, see, I don't know. What was that in?
That was just where Alfie Allen was partying.
Oh, okay.
Because, and he had a bunch of guards around because he knew John Wick was out to kill him. But what could he do? His father was like, there's nothing you can do about it, so
still,
I'll protect you the best I can, but whatever. So he's just partying it up.
Yeah, still.
Yeah.
That whole thing, when it could feel chaotic, they make sure you see everything that you need to see. Don't
you stay with him,
you
stay with the action.
Long,
yeah.
But you just stay with John and go through everything, and he just moves through what he needs to do, and he gets done what he needs to done. And it is such a perfect Hitman revenge movie.
Yes.
It really, really is.
You appreciate what drives him. You get behind him right away, even with few words. Just the little montage of him with his wife. You get enough of that. You're like, yeah, he's my guy. I'm gonna back him up, kill them all. Like, yeah.
There's nothing that I didn't like about this movie. There's nothing that I'm looking at it going,
this could have been better.
This could have been better. This could have been better because it is so simple.
Yeah.
And they're not trying to overdo anything.
No.
The filmmakers knew what they could do, and they did it.
Like, for what it was and what it was supposed to be, it was perfect for me. Like, I thought if it was to showcase the action and put a story around it, they executed it very well.
Yeah. Exactly, and they didn't need to do anything else. It's quite strange to say, because a lot of sort of problems people have with movies are it tried to do too much. It was too convoluted. It was too messy. Stuff like that. But you look at something like this, and even with action movies, you get some action movies that are just like, okay, what sort of nonsense are we going to now? What is this? Not that I've seen them, Morgan hasn't seen, but Fast and the Furious, I feel, does that, from what I hear from people.
Well, you'll get to see soon enough.
Yes, but from what I hear from people, I feel like it's just nonsense set piece after nonsense set piece, and then they just move to the Bahamas, and then they have another car chase on boats and helicopters, and then it's just like, oh, okay, what's going on here? I can't follow this.
Well, I'm looking forward to making you watch those movies even more.
Yeah,
so
sure.
Get ready for a fun-filled summer. Fast and Furious movies.
Oh, no.
It's coming up. It's coming up.
Well, can we not just watch John Wick again when everything made sense and I didn't feel overwhelmed by what was going on in the movie?
You'll get through it. I promise.
No, though I cannot speak highly enough of this. I'm just so looking forward to watching the other two. Now,
so what are you expecting from the second now that you've seen the first?
I feel like there's going to be some sort of...
He did get another dog.
He did get another dog. I don't know. If the other dog dies, it'll seem... Oh, God, are they just doing the same movie again?
Well, I mean... He does have to get his car back.
Does have to get his car? Okay. Okay.
That's all I'm going to say.
I think there's going to be some sort of betrayal.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe Ian McShane has something more to do. Because
he's there.
He's there. That's good. I like that he's there.
Yes. And you'll get to kind of go to other parts of the world, so that'll be interesting.
Okay, so it's... Well, clearly what happened here is
definitely
that John Wick was a success, and then they decided, give it a bit more money for the second one.
Yes, and people were really into the world that they started to build with the Continental and all that, so you will get more world building for sure in this one, and I'm really excited to see 3 and kind of expand that even more, and
I just hope they, at least for the second one, because I haven't seen that either, I just hope they don't go overboard with it. I hope they keep to the simple, clean, smooth, just easy story that this is, rather than trying to do a little bit too much, because that might sort of dampen the quality of a John Wick movie to me. Having seen, this one, it is just seems to me like the simpler story of pure focused revenge just works perfectly.
I think it'll be the most simple of the 3. The second one does get a little bit more complex.
Okay.
But I think that plays into the world building.
Well, okay. Well,
and I think it works in terms of raising the stakes.
Okay.
And the way it ends is like going to make you think, how the hell is he going to like work through this in 3? So.
Okay. Yeah. It's a bit of a nice little bit of a tease there. I like that. So. But yeah, I can't speak highly enough of the first John Wick. What a great start to series 2 of Morgan Hasn't Seen This Movie was.
So glad you liked it. Yay.
There's not like so much you can even say about it. Because it's not like...
It's pretty straightforward.
It's because it is so straightforward. Yes. But the best thing you can say is that it is perfectly straightforward.
Yeah, and it works. Everything they did worked so well.
You're not watching it going.
Wait, what's happening right now?
But you're also not watching it going, I wish something else was happening, or I wish they were doing more. Because why would you wish they were doing more? When does it ever show you that you thought they would be doing more? Alfie Allen acts like a fool and does stuff, and his father is a big crime boss who used to work with John Wick, and they all know the reputation that John has.
Except, of course,
except
for
Alfie
Allen.
Because it's Alfie Allen, and why would he ever think about anything? Sorry, Alfie, you're probably a lovely person, but your characters, man, your characters.
Yeah.
You don't tend to think a great deal until afterwards. Just saying. Just saying you burned down the place where you grew up, Theon. And then we're all sad afterwards when you were being tortured, so...
Yeah, well, he
It's
lost
not on
his
me.
weenie, and he redeemed himself, unlike his character in this movie. So.
He did redeem himself, of course, as we all saw in last week's Game of Thrones.
Yes.
Didn't we? Yes, we did.
We did.
We won't talk about Game of Thrones because controversial episode, and we don't want to get the wrath
we can't get into that.
we don't want to get the wrath
I know we
of,
usually get a little Thronesy here, but yeah.
Well, I really liked the episode. I'm sorry, I'll just say that.
No, me too. It was a little too dark. I couldn't really tell what was happening with the dragons in the sky, but other than that, that's why I have my new Rockstars breakdowns.
I'm
Thank you,
still
guys.
looking forward to watching this week. So we are of course recording this again before episode 4 of Game of Thrones.
Yes.
Even though
But
this comes out on Wednesday.
Emilia Clarke says 5 is the jam.
5 is the jam.
She says, like, episode 5 is like, oh my gosh, watch it on the biggest TV you can find.
See,
oh my gosh.
That's going to be the battle with the Golden Company, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
See, that's
So-
going to be better.
So she was saying OMG, OMG, episode 5. So
Yeah, okay. I've heard Kit Harington likes this one, though, likes number 4. A lot.
okay.
So I don't know.
I'm sure he didn't like episode 3 because
No,
he
he was
really didn't have
probably-
anything to do. And he had, like, he didn't have enough kills. Everyone had more kills than him, except Dany. She had, like, 4 kills.
Well, if you count Drogon as Dany.
Yes, but to count just her by herself.
I mean, she did get a sword
He,
out.
he didn't save the day. He didn't
No, he
have
didn't.
his... Jorah actually had the most kills. BTW.
Sure.
Yeah. I think he had
Jorah.
24 kills to everybody's,
Well
like,
done.
15, 16 kills.
Well done, Jorah.
R.I.P.
Don't Jeannine, we love Jorah more on Morgan Hasn't Seen.
We do. I would love to see Ian Glenn pop up in one of these John Wick
Oh!
movies, by the way. Wouldn't he be so good in this
What a
world?
fantastic shout that is. Get
Yes,
Ian
wouldn't
Glenn
he be-
involved.
Oh, wouldn't he be so good? Yeah.
Yes. Get Ian Glenn involved. Get
But I guess who I
get
saw is
Richard
in John Wick
Dormer
3.
involved. Beric Dondarrion. What? Who is in
Bronn
John Wick
is in John Wick 3.
3? What?
Jerome Flynn is in John Wick 3. I'm pretty
Oh,
sure I saw
dear.
him in a trailer.
Oh no. What's he gonna do? Sing?
Up on the roof. I'm
Guys,
sorry, Jerome Flynn. I love you.
go and watch Jerome Flynn's pop songs, please.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I saw him in a trailer for John Wick 3. So,
Okay, that'll be fun.
yeah.
That'll be fun. What is it with? Is there any Game of Thrones alumni in John Wick 2?
Not that I can think of.
Apart from Ian McShane, who you've called class as Brother Ray. In
Oh,
that
yeah,
one episode,
that's
so
true.
I
that's
guess
true.
he's
That one
involved.
off.
Yeah,
Yes.
I guess that's fair. That's ridiculous. Jerome Flynn, what are you doing? Love you.
Yes.
I didn't. Yeah, that's weird. John Wick, though. What a great movie. Again, like, I don't love action so much. It's not my go-to genre. I'm not a member of Team Action, nor do I look like either of them. For anybody that gets that reference. Although I do like black suits. Big fan of black suits.
Yes,
big
that
fan
suit
of
he
Keanu.
puts on.
Big
That
fan
first
of
suit he
Keanu's
puts
black
on
suit.
when he's getting ready for the people coming to his house.
Yeah.
Yes, that was a slick
Yeah.
one.
Very
He looks
handsome
good in
man
a
as
suit.
well.
Yes.
Keanu Reeves for very
Yes, he
handsome
is.
man.
He still rides the subway, opens doors for people. He's
The
very
subway,
nice.
the subway is a
person.
perfectly fun place. I don't know why everybody has a problem with riding the subway and riding buses. You get some entertainment.
Yes, but as a celebrity, he's still very down to earth.
Yeah,
Yes.
lovely dude by all accounts. Lovely dude. And John Wick. John Wick isn't so lovely though. John Wick,
I mean,
the
he
character.
was trying to be lovely, and
He's-
people
I mean,
just started
look.
messing with his stuff.
Look, you cross John Wick and you'll know about it.
Yes.
You don't go crossing John Wick.
He's Baba Yaga.
Oh, that was a good accent there.
He's the man you send to kill the boogeyman. I would have said the F word that he says in there, but
Therefore, do we see John Wick pop up in the next Halloween movie?
perhaps.
If you send him to kill the boogeyman, wouldn't you just want John Wick, Laurie Strode, Judy Greer, and the granddaughter, who I forget the name of, from Halloween 2018? Wouldn't you just want them to meet John Wick, and then Michael Myers comes round, and then John Wick just kills him? Because John
wow.
Wick is who you hire to kill the boogeyman.
Take my money. Take my money, sir.
I think I have a go picture
Yes.
at who's a struggling studio, all of them apart from Disney these days.
I'm creating the GoFundMe right now.
Yeah, we'll do it independently. We'll buy all the rights to John Wick and Halloween. Don't know how we're going to afford them. But we'll do it. We'll make it happen.
Yes.
And,
Well, with all our MCU talk, maybe Disney will be impressed and give us a loan.
Oh yeah, are we officially Disney shills now? We've talked that
I
much
think
about
so.
the MCU.
I think so.
So proud of us. I'm so
Yes.
proud of us. What was that? What was that weird thing I came up with the other day? I'm sure I came up with some sort of weird movie pitch the other day.
You did.
So, was it something to do with poisoned chicken?
Yes.
I don't
Like a
even
fried
remember.
chicken serial killer, Colonel Sanders.
Colonel
Colonel Slasher Sanders.
Colonel Slasher Sanders, and it was just a guy who killed people. It was a serial killer who killed people just by poisoning fried chicken.
Yeah.
Don't know where that came from actually.
I can't remember what birthed that gem of an idea, but
It's gonna make more money than Endgame when it comes out. I can tell you that.
it's so true.
Endgame has already passed $84 trillion, so
Yeah.
it's gonna beat Avatar, isn't it, Jeannine?
I think so.
It's
Even though it
going
had
to beat
like
Avatar.
it had a substantial drop.
Oh, a substantial. I'm sure it had a substantial drop. It still made 17,100 million gajillion dollars.
It didn't make as much as the first weekend, but
Oh, I'm sorry. It made
that's,
300 and what?
56.
356 million opening weekend domestically in the US. Oh, but it had a significant drop to what? 180?
Yeah, it was like lower than that, so they were like a drastic drop.
Oh god. Oh, drastic. Oh, so drastic.
Yeah.
People are going to see this movie 84 times.
Yes.
This movie is, look, it's hit 2 billion in 11 days or something like that.
Yeah.
I've seen
Something like
today
that.
$2 billion worldwide in 11 days.
Yeah.
It took Avatar 40 something days to do that, I think.
Yeah. So
Um,
shut up, everyone
this
who thinks
movie-
Avatar.
Will I bet the next? Do you know what I bet the next point of discussion is? Will Endgame make $3 billion? That would be insane. Imagine that.
Yeah.
That is
goodness.
ridiculous.
I can't even imagine.
I don't know. We'll have to see how quickly it keeps going.
Yeah.
But I don't think that discussion's too far away.
Oh, no.
And that's
Still
mad.
making all the money.
That's insane. We've talked more about the MCU in this movie, in this episode, than we have John Wick. But we don't care. It's our show. And Morgan hasn't seen John Wick, but Morgan has seen John Wick now. And Morgan very much likes John Wick, and Morgan is very thankful for Jeannine for forcing him to watch John Wick to kick off Series 2 of Morgan Hasn't Seen with, yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited for next week.
Very much
to get into John Wick 2.
Very much. So do you like John Wick 2? Would you like John Wick 2 or John Wick 1 the best?
I like 1 the best,
okay.
But 2 is equally enjoyable.
Is that the general...
The expansion of the world and the way it ends is just like, oh my gosh, what's it gonna do?
Is that the general consensus?
I think so.
Okay.
Although our possible guest for John Wick Chapter 3, Parabellum, whatever that means.
Is that the title of it?
Yeah, Parabellum.
Okay.
John Wick Chapter 3, Parabellum.
Okay.
Or Parabolum. I don't know.
No, I think it's Parabellum. I think it's Parabolum.
Parabolum.
But to be fair...
I don't know where to emphasis the syllable.
To be fair, people from Britain and the North America do pronounce words differently.
Like aluminium.
Well, also, but, you know, aristocrat?
Mm-hmm.
Like, some people say aristocrat.
Yeah, that didn't sound too different.
I say aristocrat. I emphasise the ah. Just a little speech lesson there. Morgan hasn't seen speech lessons.
But as I was saying about our possible guest, he actually has seen John Wick 3 already.
Oh, he's very important. He's very, very important person.
Yes. So if we do get
Don't want to tease it too much in case we can't make it happen.
Yes. So if we do get him on, he will have a very interesting take as he's seen this movie already. So
wonderful.
And he is a huge fan of this series. So he might have a take that this one is the best of the 3. But
okay.
Who knows? So we may have a possible guest on John Wick Chapter 3.
Which won't be next week, because that will be Chapter 2. It would be the week after, but you will know, of course, if that happens. Jeannine, thank you again for joining me on Morgan.
I'm really glad you enjoyed this one. Very exciting.
I am
when
too.
I can get you to see things that you actually like.
You like forcing me to do things, and we make a podcast out of it, so it's all fun.
We do.
Yes. Look out next week for John Wick Chapter 2. John Wick, can I call it John Wick Chapter 1, even though it's not called that? I feel like it should be called that now. I feel like it should be redone like Star Wars: A New Hope.
I'm sure when it's released in like a nice little set, if 3 ends up actually being the last one.
Wasn't there talk of like a TV series?
About the Continental, yes.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be very interesting. Good for John Wick on becoming a legitimate franchise.
Yes.
I'll just say that.
A good solid action franchise.
Very, very rare that an action movie like this can turn into a really good, profitable franchise, because you end up getting stupid things like, again, Morgan hasn't seen, but Fast and Furious.
Yes, and Keanu's done a lot of things that, you know, are
Matrix.
kind of late. As of late, he's been doing a lot of things that are kind of under the radar, straight to VOD kind of movies. And,
okay.
So to see him get like a big franchise like this after kind of a while not really in the spotlight was really cool to see that it's been such a success.
Yeah.
And
really
just being a success in like focusing on really creating some great action, building an interesting world, and just having a very simple, concise story.
Yeah, I think that's it. I think that's all that needs to be said. It's a great movie. I can't wait to watch the other ones, and I can't wait to watch Point Break either, so please keep joining us for Morgan Hasn't Seen all the month of May for that. And if you haven't listened to all the MCU episodes, go back and listen to them, because they're really fun as well. and especially the Endgame one, because who doesn't want to hear people talk about Endgame? Everybody's talking about Endgame, and people just want to hear other people talk about Endgame because it's the biggest thing since, I don't know, since
it's
ever.
like the hot new thing. Like, oh my god.
Jeannine just changed race just then. It was weird in front of my eyes.
Totally.
I'm disturbed. I'm very disturbed. No, though, thank you again, of course, guys, for listening to another episode of Morgan Hasn't Seen. Check out the other episodes of this show. Check out all the episodes of the main show, It's a Wonderful Podcast. With me and Nolan Dean, we will be hitting Monster Movie May this coming Friday, if you are listening to this episode on the day of release. We're doing monster movies throughout the month of May in sort of honour of Godzilla, King of the Monsters, coming out. And very much looking forward to doing that. It's something quite different on It's a Wonderful Podcast that we're doing. Still sticking with those older movies, though, so get ready for the giant insects and aliens and things that have come out the ocean. Yes. Jeannine, you, of course, were on an episode. The last episode.
Yes, not quite monsters, unless you consider the Nazis monsters.
The Nazis are monsters.
Yes, so we went over Nazi Poppins, a.k.a. Bedknobs and Broomsticks.
Yeah, Bedknobs and Broomsticks, the greatest Disney movie of all time. Hot takes, hashtag hot takes. Bedknobs and Broomsticks, the greatest Disney movie of all time. Me and Jeannine talked about that because Nolan was absent, so Jeannine decided, well, I'll be on another show, why not?
Yeah.
And that was wonderful.
And it was a lot of fun.
It certainly was. So go and check that out as well. Get ready for Monster Movie May. Get ready for Keanu Reeves May on Morgan Hasn't Seen. And Jeannine, what other things are you doing? Where can everybody go and check you out?
Well, this weekend I will be at Malton Fest, Leonard, Jesse, and Alice Malton's first ever film festival in Hollywood at the Egyptian Theater. I will be there selling and displaying some of my artwork. So come on by and buy something or just say hi or get a pass to the film festival. They're showing some great stuff, so you can find information at Malton Fest on Twitter and Instagram, at maltononmovies.com. I do believe they also have a Malton Fest website out right now that you can go and get your passes, and it's this weekend, May 10th, 11th, and 12th, so check that out. And I also have a tea shop on TeePublic at G9 Design, and you can find me at Jeannine Dubbing on Twitter and Instagram. Oh yeah, and I'm also on a little show called The Movie Trivia Schmodown as Jeannine the Machine. So find me there on the YouTube's Movie Trivia Schmodown YouTube channel. And also
many.
I always forget. I write a weekly article called Machine Mondays on the Trivia SD website. So go to Trivia SD, the Movie Trivia Schmodown website, and check out my weekly Monday articles there.
Perfect. Guys, you can find me on Twitter at the Purple Dawn with a 3 instead of the E in the, because 3 is the magic number. Yes. Or on Instagram. Just at the Purple Dawn. Find me all over this very podcast feed, so go and subscribe to the audio feed on all your podcast providers and download all the episodes and leave those nice 5-star rate and reviews, because we will read them out on the show you may be talking about. Or if you talk about both shows, hell, we'll read them out on both shows, because we like thanking those that support us on the It's a Wonderful Podcast feed. So yeah, find the show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Castbox, Google Podcasts, and plenty of other places you can find podcasts. And yeah, like I said, go and download, go and subscribe, go and do your favourite This Podcast business, and we will love you forever, won't we, Jeannine?
We will.
We will
love you 3,000. We
will love you 3,000. My God, that is going to be ridiculous. That is going to live on forever, that, isn't it?
Yes.
That is that.
I mean, you started it last week, so maybe we just have to end every time with "Love You 3000." I mean, it's already been way overplayed, but
yeah, I feel like we'd just be at this point we'd just be doing what everybody else is doing.
Yeah, but maybe there's two of us, so we could say "Love You 6000."
We love you. Yes, perfect. Absolutely perfect. Jeannine again comes out with an absolute world-beating idea. Guys, thank you, of course, for listening to episode 8 of Morgan Hasn't Seen, the start of season 2, series 2. I'm gonna confuse all that up. I don't care. We've gone
all
on
you
for
British people have series, so
we've gone on for 90 minutes again, Jeannine. We don't care.
It's okay.
It's the best. Until next week with John Wick Chapter 2. We love you 6,000.
6,000. Yes.
Bye, guys.
Okay, bye.